Proverbs chapter 15 has a lot to say about the words we use and the way we speak. Verse 1 says this: "A gentle answer turns away anger, but a harsh word stirs up wrath. The tongue of the wise makes knowledge attractive, but the mouth of fools blurt out foolishness." Verse 4, "The tongue that heals is a tree of life, but a devious tongue breaks the spirit." And then verse 7, "The lips of the wise broadcast knowledge, but not so the heart of fools." It talks a lot about how we should be talking to people, what our words, what our speech should actually accomplish. Here in verse 7 it says that if you're wise, you're going to broadcast knowledge and not lies and not foolishness and not stupid stuff. We shouldn't be just in the realm of gossip and sharing stuff about people, things like that. We should be sharing things that are biblical, things that would exalt God, things that would build up people. And verse 4 says the tongue that heals is a tree of life. Our words can bring healing to people because there's so many people today that are hurting all around us. Believers, non-believers, but especially non-believers, they're hurting. They don't need to hear a condemning speech from us. They're sinners. They're far from God. They need to hear the truth, but we need to show compassion as we share the truth with them to help to heal them, not necessarily physically, but spiritually and emotionally. How we say things to people, the words that we use, the way we put together, even our body language can make a difference. And then as you go back, it says the tongue of the wise makes knowledge attractive. How we say things to people, what we say to them can either attract them or push them away. How we interact with people can cause them to be pushed away from God, or it could cause them to be drawn towards God, to come to Him. The words that we use and the way that we deliver them are so powerful. A gentle answer turns away anger, but a harsh word stirs up wrath. Now there's always going to be disagreements between people. You're not always going to agree with me. I'm not always going to agree with you. And that can be in every different area of life because we're all different. We all come from different backgrounds, different cultures, different languages, and all kinds of stuff. And our life experience and things like that can cause us to see things differently. I'm not saying that I'm always going to be right or you're always going to be right or wrong. That's not the point. The point is we're going to have differences of opinion. Sometimes I might be right, sometimes I may be wrong, sometimes both of us could be right, and sometimes both of us could be wrong. But the point is, if there's an issue between two people and a difference, the way that you approach the person that you have a difference with can either, keep the situation calm to where you can work out your differences to figure out the middle ground or to figure out where you should be or who's right or who's wrong. And that causes people to grow, both the person delivering and the person receiving, if you can have a dialogue that's peaceful. But if you come at someone in the wrong way, it can cause them to get very defensive, to draw back, to try to justify themselves. And then you could react to that negatively too. And it just causes a big problem. I know when I was dealing with my son, I was kind of harsh because I'm a person that sees right and wrong. You do this, you do that. This is the way you should do it. This is the way it has to be done. And even when I was right, when I delivered the speech to him in that way, he took it personally. He looked at it as I was judging and condemning him, and he was going to have nothing of it. He shut down. He wouldn't listen. He would get defensive, or he would just walk away. I learned that I could share something, the truth with him, share it in the shortest way possible, without condemning, without judging, and then walk away and let him think about it. And many times he would come around and he would see things, he would see that I was right. It's all the way that you approach people. You know, I've hurt people more, even people that came to counsel with me, they come to me for advice and things like that. And because I was that way with this is right, this is wrong, this is what you do, this is what you don't do. It was easy for me just to deliver the facts without the love behind it, without the compassion, without the empathy, without understanding where they were at, why they were where they were. So I had to learn to listen. See, our speech is not just about us delivering, but we need to listen to the other person too. And as we learn these things, we learn how to deliver, when to listen, when to speak, how to speak, the body language to use, and all of these different types of things. Then our speech, as it says in verse 4, can bring healing instead of damaging the person more. We need to learn these things. Jesus knew exactly how to speak to people. He spoke harshly to some, but then some that we'd have thought he should have been very harsh with, he showed a lot of compassion and empathy. My challenge to you today would be, as it is to me every single day, is to purpose to make your speech to be biblical, to be godly, to be, sprinkled with love, to, share with people, to talk to people in a way that helps them to see Jesus, in a way that helps them to see God. Speak to them in a way that helps them to grow spiritually, to be healed emotionally. What we say and how we say it is very, very powerful, as we saw here in Proverbs. Jesus was our perfect example. God wants us to honor him and to glorify him through our speech. We need to do that. He will do that if we ask him to help us. It's the way that we can change if we need to change. If this video was helpful to you in any way, was encouraging, please like, share, and subscribe, and feel free to comment about your reactions or what you may think about what I said. Maybe there's something that could be added to it. I value this, and I thank you for listening, and may God bless you always.